Hello.
All right, we got it.
Oh, Quincy.
We're welcome. Oh boy. Hi, Quincy. Welcome. Say hi. Go say hi. Hi.
So welcome to our Tuesday night training call. We're outside because it's hot in our house, and it's going to be a short call. And our dog's out here, so if there's barking, it's because Quincy thinks we have people over.
But we're safe.
Yes.
But we're safe. Okay.
Okay.
So tonight, Whitney shared with you guys, we're going to be talking about sharing and follow-up. I have some notes here. Whitney had taken care of little man for the last hour, so I kind of took what she started and kind of finished it up. So it should be pretty short and sweet and to the point. And then by the time most of you guys see this, it'll be posted on our page. Got anything before we get started?
No.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right, first thing we're going to talk about is just sharing in general. I break sharing down into two separate categories. Group sharing, this is your Facebook post. If you're doing Twitter, that crazy Instagram or any of those that I'm not on. This is just when you're trying to basically advertise to group people. I'm going to talk about my experience in group sharing. So Facebook is my primary avenue for that. There's, when you're on Facebook, one of the things I have found to be the most effective is personal posts, right? You can share all about technical stuff, all about somebody else's incredible results. But when you say, hey, this is what has happened for me, you will see lots of responses from people to sharing your personal journey.
One thing. And it doesn't have to be like any massive personal results, anything to get people to relate to you. So you can share, that you slept really well and didn't wake up at all, and sleeping had always been an issue for you, or you're no longer taking medication to help you sleep because you're sleeping well. It could be something as small as someone shared that is kind of gross, but they used to have like a fungus on their toe and now it's not there anymore. Gross. So it's gross, but like anything that helps people relate to you. I no longer worry or stress about, things that used to bother me before. Like it could be anything, not just weight related either, which is a big thing that people get caught up in. Like, well, I don't have like a great weight loss testimony I can't share. That's not true.
I mean, you can talk about, I know I've shared before about how I decided not to eat the cookie, or I don't know, just the other morning, Whitney, I took a picture of a old box of nasal strips we threw away because I don't snore anymore. Things like that, like stuff that makes you relatable to other people.
And that makes you real.
Second thing, just be engaging. Ask people questions, ask for thoughts. Whitney made a comment the other week, and I think she's 100% right. When you ask people their opinion, people love to give their opinions. They love it. I mean, think about it. When somebody asks me what I think or I feel or anything, I love it. So engage people through that.
And it doesn't have to be all about Plexus, just like to get engagement, because the more people are engaged reading your social media posts, the more they're going to come back to it. And I don't know what the algorithms are for Facebook, but I'm going to guess there's a really high likelihood that if someone comments or likes your posts, they're going to see them more frequently come up in their feed. So get people engaged, get people commenting, ask people, whatever random thoughts that come through your mind. If you're, an open book like me and don't care about sharing whatever, just ask it on Facebook. People will tell you their opinion.
Another third thing, be you. Your post, people can see if your posts aren't you, right? So we all know how Whitney is emoji queen, right? If I copied and pasted one of her posts, everybody go, that looks an awful lot like Whitney. That doesn't sound like very much like Jason. So just keep that in mind. I mean, sure, take other people's ideas, but make them your own. Personalize them. Put your stamp on them. Just don't copy. It's very clear when people copy and paste somebody else's. It's very, very, very clear.
And the same thing goes with like the nature of your posts. So if you're very, reserved, shy, more laid back, kept to yourself kind of a person, then, don't post things that don't show that. Like, make sure you're being true to who you are. And, I listened to a lot of training videos recently that say, like, brand yourself. Like, post things that, make you, that make people relate to you. So a lot of my posts are either about my kids, about Plexus, about Jesus, and healthy eating, maybe, exercise, but that's about it. So just make sure, you're staying, who you are and varying those. But, just if you're not like, if you're more like kept to yourself, that's okay. Then maybe like private messaging people is more for you than posting a lot on Facebook. And that's okay too. There's diamonds that never posted once on Facebook. So just remember that.
Along with posting on Facebook, I kind of broke down the different types of Plexus posts that you can do. One I called the testimonial post that we see. Hey, look what Plexus did for so-and-so. Here's how so-and-so benefited from Plexus, all of that, right? With some of our testimonial posts, we have to be pretty careful now with some of the compliance things. A lot of the awesome things people have overcome, we can't specifically state right now because of compliance issues. So I would allude to that. I would hint at it, be vague. Obviously, you can't say disease names or anything like that, but I would be bold in saying, hey, this person suffered from some terrible symptoms and they are now symptom free. And if you want to know more, reach out or whatever. Right. The second one is the informative one. This is one I've started to do more recently. And this is how I actually had somebody reach out to me and join the next day after reading one of my posts. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's the one of a camera, and it looks like it's in a colon or your intestines, and there's a whole bunch of white fungus on the outside. Well, I shared it because a lot of people, I know I didn't know about it until becoming a part of Plexus. So I know most people who still aren't a part of Plexus don't know the benefits of probiotics and all the gut health stuff. So, share that stuff. A lot of people don't realize that they need Plexus. They do. But they don't realize it. Like if I had been a non-fat person prior to Plexus, in shape, generally good health, I would never probably have considered it unless somebody said, hey, this is something a lot of people go through. Then I probably would have given it a second look. I think it'll open the more knowledge people have that are in your audience, the more beneficial it is to you. Mm-hmm. And the third type of post that I do is just kind of like your fun, goofy post. That's, I don't know. I can't think of a specific example right now. I've done it before. We're just being fun with Plexus. Like Whitney, I think, shared one yesterday. Hey, 20 days from now, we'll be in Las Vegas. Whoop! Everybody getting ready to go to Vegas, sharing about it. And that's us and some of you guys are getting ready to earn your spots to Leaders Retreat in the fall. We'll be saying, hey, looking forward to hanging out with all my Plexus buds and all of that.
Mm-hmm. Anything to celebrate.
Yeah, and a fourth one I didn't write down, but I just thought about it, is the business post, right? Sharing the actual business, being bold with the business opportunity. Mm-hmm. So those are the type of posts I wrote down.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that kind of sums up what I would call group sharing. So now I'm going to talk about individual sharing, and understand that individual sharing is your most effective way to grow your business, right? I was trying to think of a clever analogy earlier. I didn't come up with a great one, but here's what we're going with. For example, you might see advertisements for a brand new restaurant in town. They serve the exact food you like. It's a seafood place. You love shrimp and crab legs. That's your favorite. Oh, man, I can't wait to go. 2, 3, 4 months later, you still haven't went. Because life happens, right? Stuff happens. You're tired, whatever. But you have a really good friend of yours say, hey, Whitney, I'm going to this restaurant. You want to join me? And you're going to say yes, right? Because you wanted to go, and then they finally invited you to join them. That's kind of how I view group sharing. That's the big advertisement. And then the individual sharing is when you personally invite somebody. And I know for a fact we have people on this team who have said, I was thinking about it, really thinking about it, and then so-and-so reached out to me, and that's when I joined.
True story.
By far the most effective. When you reach out to somebody, some real basic things, make it about them. Don't say, hey, I'm a superhero now because of Plexus, or like for me, I wouldn't reach out to somebody who needs to lose weight and say, hey, I've lost 50 pounds. It's been great for me. Say, hey, you would reach out to them and you want to really portray the benefits to them. One thing I would encourage you guys to do is offer a sample of Slim to whoever you reach out to. Just one little packet of Slim. you'd be amazed at how many people, when you offer them a sample, end up becoming customers, and eventually, happy customers become ambassadors, and that's how your business grows. Offer a sample of Slim. There's been a lot of debate even between me and Whitney and I think we've settled on this. Like, how many should you offer somebody, right? We all know Plexus isn't a quick fix. So, do I offer them a month supply? No, don't think so. I don't think any of us have that type of money to be offering multiple people a month supply. And what we've kind of settled on is you want to offer them one packet of Slim, right? You want to say, hey, so they can taste it, they can smell it, they can see it, they can feel it, and they get a little more comfortable with it. And, as long as if the taste is good, they'll probably at least consider buying at least a 7-day trial, right? Because 7 days, you'll probably see the beginnings of some results. So with that, if you do provide samples of people, either the day, so the single packet, make sure you give them the expectations of what they don't, make sure they know they're not going to experience life-changing results in 1 day. They might experience a little bit of increased energy. They might experience a little bit of decreased cravings. They might, right? Be level with that. I would also encourage you guys to do that with brand new customers as well. Set the expectations of what they're going to experience in their first days, weeks, and months of taking Plexus. Make sure they know it's not a super quick fix, right? I always tell people sustainable results aren't quick results. Results that last are not easily achieved, right?
And then we do know that some people have quick fixes, but then it's just positive and it's a benefit. So instead,
quick results, not quick fixes, quick results.
Quick results. So start them out here, and if they have results up here, that's awesome. Time to celebrate, time to party, time to join. But if they stay here, they're not let down and thinking, oh, this won't work for me.
For example, I had somebody who started with the same thing I started with 14 months ago, the Slim Accelerator Block. After 3 weeks, and they're like, hey, I haven't really lost any weight yet, and I don't know if is it working. I'm like, well, I didn't see any results to 6 or 7 weeks. Here's what I had experienced at my 3rd week: better energy, better sleep, less craving. Like, yeah, I'm seeing that. I'm like, okay, you're on the right track, and that just gave them that affirmation and that, hey, it's working, it's going the way it should be for them. Sorry, it's starting to get dark here, so it's a little harder to see my notes. Offer sample.
We'll finish up quickly.
And now we're into the biggest part of what's going to grow your business. Follow up. Follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up.
Follow up.
Follow up. Follow up again.
And again.
So one thing I wrote down here is base how frequently you follow up with somebody on their interests, right? If you talk to somebody and they're like, yeah, that seems great, I would follow up with them the next day. Don't let them lose that enthusiasm. Follow up with them right away. If somebody's a little more casual, oh, okay, I'd like to learn more, give them a couple of days, hit back up with them. So you guys know when you reach out to people who are the ones that are really looking to buy, who think this could change their lives like it has some of us. Base your follow-up on that. Be consistent, right? Don't follow up with them 4 days in a row. If you feel like it's somebody on fire, then stop and not follow up again. Keep going. If somebody's kind of one of those fence riders, it might be good, it might not, send them a testimony that would speak to them, right? By this point, what their health struggles are, what they're going through. You can find dozens of testimonies on Facebook of what speaks to them. Or for those of us who are participating in the product learning thing, look up a product and look up an ingredient in one of the products, what it addresses, and send that to them and say, hey, and Slim, chromium really helps people maximize the effects of chromium. One thing, a stat I wrote down that we've all heard different variations of. So it says 44% of salespeople give up after one follow-up, but 80% of sales require at least 5 follow-ups. So that means, okay, there we go. We got a spotlight since we can see us now. So that means only 54% of salespeople make it after the one trip. So that means 80% of those sales are amongst the 54 people. So
the other thing about following that I was going to say really quick is Jason said about giving people testimonies. The other thing to keep in mind and always remember, there are so many different groups on Facebook for Plexus. I had one person ask me about sorry.
It's okay. We're telling the neighbors. We're telling the neighbors about Plexus.
Good. They need to know too.
Because Whitney's so loud.
But I had one person, for example, ask me about gastric bypass and Plexus, and if it would help someone post-surgery. I had no idea. I don't even know anyone that's ever had gastric bypass, so I didn't know what to say. Went to Facebook. I found testimonies, but I also found a Facebook group that's for Plexus users who have had gastric bypass. So I would encourage you, like there's a breastfeeding and Plexus group that is the administrative people are Jules. There's a pregnant and Plexus group. There's
addicted to Plexus. People recovering from addictions. Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, and Leo, the guy that runs that, has a really cool testimony. We're having a visitor. Quincy's back there on our couch. But yeah, so I would definitely, look up if it's someone that would rather kind of like find out more information on their own instead of relying on you, or if you think that they might just kind of use that information also, or, participate in a group, ask questions to other people, or even just watch, I would add them. I do that a lot to people who are pregnant and or nursing, because there's those groups and that's what they're there for. They're not just for users. They're for people that are considering the product. So link them up with that. There's nothing wrong with that. And then they can kind of, research on their own. I have several customers or ambassadors now who started by, searching those groups, asking questions, interacting with other people on those group pages. So it wasn't just coming from me. I think, people will trust you a lot the more that you gain in your knowledge and your experience and your consistency. But there's a lot to be said for third and fourth and fifth party validation also. Go ahead. Oh my gosh.
Okay, sorry. My dog's trying to kick me off of my chair.
He's really cute.
Couple more notes. So I think as we follow up, one thing we got to do is you really have to skirt the line between pushy and not pushy, right? Like, think about all the people we've read about, entrepreneurs, not only in Plexus, just in general. Like, they're not just relaxed, chill, let the world come to me people, right? They're go-getters. They go get stuff done. You don't want to be pushy, obviously, but you want to be, I guess, intentional is the best way to put it. Say, hey, this can help you. Just be intentional, be direct, all of us, most of us who are here are very passionate about the products because they've done great things in our lives. If you sincerely believe the products are great and they've helped change your lives, why wouldn't you share that with the people you care about, right?
And the big key is to put their needs above your own. Like, sure, we all have needs. We all have goals. We want to be a certain rank by a certain time or hit a certain PV next month. But that you're not doing it for the right reasons. And that's what makes Plexus different, because we have products that could really, truly, completely change people's lives. And, we need to kind of like keep ourselves in check and remember, like, we're doing this to serve other people. So if you have a servant's heart, you're golden, because, people see that too. I could tell, like, looking at other people's direct sales posts on Facebook, I could totally tell when they're just trying to make a buck or if they really care. And I think, as long as like, where you're coming from and what you're doing and your why, and what is important to you and why you want to share with other people, like, I think everything else will just align, because if you're doing it for the right reasons, that's going to be reflected in your behavior.
All right. And I had an example of a friend who I reached out to in January with a message, said, hey, now you just had a baby. It was a really good friend from my youth, from my younger years, high school and college. And said, hey, I, discovered this, has been great. Didn't hear anything from her till March. She messaged me, and now she's an ambassador on our team. So, plant those seeds and keep following up. So, that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
I kind of covered
consistency.
Yeah, you want to be consistent, right? So Rob Heffley, you guys, he was on Rock the Pink. He's a male. He is one of the high-level males in the company. I like to reach out to guys because this is a female-dominated thing, and our entire upline is all female, so I'm trying to reach out to guys otherwise. So he's a sapphire. His wife is a diamond, and she is oftentimes you'll see her name on the weekly emails for the biggest business-building bonuses and growth. So I forget what I was going to say. What were we talking about?
Consistency,
right. So he told me, he made an example. He's like, so you want to be known to people as that Plexus guy, that Plexus girl, right? When the time comes that somebody's ready, whoever in their mind pops up as the Plexus person, that's who they're going to reach out to. And it's going to be the person that does it consistently. Like his wording was, you have to build credibility with people, your audience, right? And you do that through consistency. So,
And a good story, quick to kind of drive home that point. A gal from my church, we didn't really know each other personally at all. She reached out to me last month. A friend had extra products of Plexus, and she gave her triplex combo just to try for a month. And this girl reached out to me and said, hey, my friend just gave me the triplex. Like, do you have any tips for me? Like, how do I get started, regimen, that kind of thing? So I was like, sure. So I sent her what I typically send my customers, the tips for getting started, followed up with her a couple times throughout the month. She just joined today as an ambassador under me. She was never even my customer, but she got Plexus products from someone. She knew, like, well, Whitney sells Plexus, and I know her through my church. So, I'm assuming she must have, something about me or my consistency or my reliability or credibility or whatever. She reached out to me, and now she's on our team. So, yeah, definitely. Like, it's okay to be that Plexus girl or that Plexus guy. There's nothing wrong with that. Nope. You can be much worse.
Yep. So I think that's pretty much sums up everything we wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, we'll stop the recording and then we'll take some questions if there are any.
Bye, guys. Thanks.
Bye.